Good morning, Uganda, and yes, welcome back to our show. And of course, we are in this segment of Business Insight, and of course, Smart Means Business is the program we are on. Thank you for being with us from the very start, and of course, it's that time of the day whereby we have a guest with us in the studio. And right now here, I have with me the CEO of NK Group Marketing Agency. He's here to tell us more about the new policy that the government has brought about, the fuel import monopoly that has been put up. He's going to shed more light and tell us how the other petrol stations are feeling about this new policy that has been put up by the government. Yes, good morning, Mr. Katerega.
Yeah, I'm so excited to,
yes.
You know, smart means business.
Yes.
It's a lot. I think I'm smart also. I'm excited
yes.
to be here and also to meet you again.
Yes.
My name is Katerega Uthman. I am a communications and a marketing consultant under NK Group. But basically, the experience is more into petroleum. Yes.
Okay.
Since I have been petroleum for the like maybe 10 years. I was a marketing manager for Starbucks. I have now a consultant in key areas of branding and communication. So I'm happy to be discussing with you and discussing business.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for honoring our invite to come to our studios. So I would really want to ask you a few questions about this new policy that has been put about. So I would want to know, what is your overall assessment about this new rule that has been put up by the government for the fuel and everything?
Yeah, you know, someone said a statement in one of the meetings which piqued my interest. And that statement is, everyone is saying that the kid is raped. So if the kid is raped and is pregnant, get me well?
Yes.
If the kid is raped and is pregnant, and when she's pregnant, she's in labor ward already, so we find that kid in a labor ward. Now the question, what is now that right question? How do you handle such a situation? To help a young lady to deliver, or to start asking who raped?
I think you would first help her deliver, then
yes.
after you find out.
So that's the scenario in what is happening with the Uganda National Oil Corporation.
Yes.
The government or the president gave a directive after very good research on how, you know, Uganda is soon enjoying its own oil.
Yes.
Either taken out and comes as refined oil, but we are soon having our own oil. I think the government is forward-sighting the future. Before we have our own oil, fuel.
How are we going to do
How are we going to? So they had now to see that this kid the president had to wake up and say, okay, fine, guys, you know what? For us to move forward, and according to the best research I have seen, let's monopolize this supply of fuel. But it has a lot of benefit to the government and the citizens.
Okay.
Yeah, because initially, all the oil and the fuel we see and we have comes from Kenya. Most 90% come from Kenya. And I think it's last year that before we used to have what we call open tender system, where the Kenyan companies can compete with others and they get a ship from Dubai or what.
Yes.
But recently, the government of Kenya came up with a system called G2G, government to government business, where the government of Kenya goes to Saudi Arabia and get fuel. It opened the mind and the eyes of the Uganda government. They said, hey, so we can also buy fuel from refineries. So it is exactly what is happening. It's a very big strategy for the government, and we should not just take it lightly. For us as in business, of course, oil marketing companies in Uganda are going to be, they are looking at it as a threat because most of them have been in Kenya, they're dealers, they're in business. So when you hear that you've been getting fuel from Kenya and your head office is in Kenya and it is supplying fuel to Uganda, and now the Uganda government says, watcha, you have to buy fuel from Uganda National Oil Corporation. Of course, it cuts a cartel there. It cuts, there is a kind of blockage between those dealers. So it means that you must be registered in Uganda, dealing in Uganda to have access to fuel.
Okay.
And now, when people say it is doesn't mean that here in Uganda. Has already opened a company in Kenya under
Okay.
So still the oil marketing companies can buy fuel at the same price they have been buying from Kenya. They have their trucks. They either load from Eldoret or Kisumu, and they bring it to Uganda, they sell. The key, according to our research as consultants, it's not like is, and I want the viewers to understand it clearly. It's not UNOC is not going to come to petrol stations and build petrol stations. No, it's not their mandate. Still, the oil marketing company, the way you see them, are going to remain the way it is. The role of UNOC, mostly, if you look at the new Act amendment, to safeguard the supply of fuel. Because, of course, Uganda has been basing on Kenyan importers.
So as Ugandans, of course, we have so many petrol stations here, and many people, of course, they feel like this new policy that was put up by the government is going to be affecting them, since they all have to get the fuel from one supplier. So of course, we ended up having Mr. Hassan Mabirizi Male. He went and sued the government, saying this was being corruptive and unfair to the other people, because there are very many people who can actually get fuel to come into Uganda. So they feel like this is political.
At the end of the day, the question, the first discussion I told you when I was starting was the kid is raped and is in labor ward.
Yeah.
So either Hassan going to court, that's this discussion I was telling you. Do we first go and take to court to search for the person who raped the kid, or we first make sure that this kid delivers well and is okay? So the focus of the government is to make sure that this kid delivers. Of course, we cannot undermine the fact that the kid was raped. So whatever Hassan is doing, he's doing the reverse of what he's supposed to do. I mean, we have grown and there is an opportunity. Maybe what Uganda needs to know is it's not true that the Uganda government had denied the opportunities of the local oil marketing companies. No, it's the same. It's actually the same as people have been doing. What they are trying to do is to safeguard the supply, according to our research. And also trying to make sure that they learn the process, because they have been not there. So whatever comes around it, everything is now in the law. The act has been passed by the parliament. UNOC has gone ahead to see, and let me tell you, by I think by February 2024, the act is going to start. So whatever supply these people have procured are going to be sold between now and January.
So it has to be finished.
Yes, it has to be finished. The next supply that's supposed to be done to come to Uganda must have been bought from UNOC. So the oil marketing companies are going to be given a mandate. They are going to choose some to sit down and work with the UNOC to see how better they streamline some key challenges, if at all they accept. But of course, even in Kenya, a law is law. So I think the challenge we have is because most of the dealers have from foreigners, they feel invaded. But Uganda is independent, so if you are in Uganda and you have an oil marketing company, of course you must understand that the law has passed. By the way, Uganda is a bit ready, because if you look, people are not aware that there is a port that is coming up. Okay. And it's already working. There is Lake Victoria Logistics is in Bokassa, Wakiso, along the shores of Lake Victoria. I am one of their marketing consultants. Lake Victoria Logistics currently has, last month, they launched another ship. Last year they launched a 4 million liter ship that transports fuel from Kisumu to Kampala. They built 80 million liter storage.
Wow.
So they transport, and currently most of the fuel companies like Robi's, they pass fuel from Lake Victoria Logistics. They're trying to cut short these road distances.
So that there is an easier way to get the fuel.
Yes. And it is want to act as a corridor to Rwanda, Sudan, Bujumbura. So there is a big thing people need to understand. Okay. Last month they launched another ship of 4 million liters. So it means that they are going to close 10 million liters, and their target is to have 4 ships. That is almost 20 million liters. From Kisumu to, so we'll partner with such kind of people, and we will never have shortages. Secondly, if 90% of fuel has been coming from Kenya, and you've been seeing, Ugandans have been seeing, when we have any problem on the road, elections, we have shortages. Yes. Now the government is saying, okay, as we look at Kenya, since it is government to government also, we are also going to open a route to TZ, so that when Kenya has a problem, TZ can supply. So Uganda has its own storage in Jinja, but it's not so much big. Okay. It is also soon constructing another one in Mpigi, but it will also partner with people like Mahali, Lake Victoria Logistics. So they are learning in a bigger way. To me, I am also one of the interested part in fuel industry, but we are discussing it on the level of the government and, as consultants. So we believe that it is a good move to citizens to protect the supply of fuel and the price.
Oh, you believe it's a good move to support the citizens. So what benefits do you think this new policy is going to put for the fuel companies that we have in Uganda?
To the fuel companies?
Yes, or even the country at large.
We need to divide it, because you see, at the end of the day, the oil marketing companies, some of them are foreigners. Okay. So most of them have been having their head office in Kenya. So it is...
Oh, so that
the
means
bigger percentage is
Kenyan companies,
yes,
they also have to buy from the government.
Yes. In Uganda there is no Kenyan companies. Once you are in Uganda, you are oil marketing company of Uganda. So they need to accept that. Some of them have been having, for example, Cats Petroleum Uganda, and then they have Cats Petroleum Kenya. Cats Petroleum Kenya has been a dealer giving Uganda fuel. So the government is saying, no, we don't want dealers. It is us, the dealer. So Cats Petroleum Uganda must be supplied by UNOP. So there is no these oil marketing companies that have been sitting in Kenya. So what these dealers, which anyone can do, has been doing is to be in Kenya, come Uganda, open a company, set an office, supply the Uganda market. But at the cost of Ugandans, because at times they are also business, but they add a lot of profit. So, and the government had no mandate. You remember when we have issues of fuel increase, they call the minister, you come and explain, but the minister has no mandate to explain the fuel increase because she's not in control.
Because he's not in the field, yes. She doesn't know how the fuel gets to come there. She doesn't know. Yes. So if they make so will come and explain. They are trying to create who is responsible.
So to the citizens, I think it is mileage to the government to safeguard the supply and also to control this pricing. But to oil marketing company, I think they need to learn a lot and also try to adjust.
Slowly.
Slowly. Some of them have been not purely local companies.
So do you think this policy is going to affect the competitiveness of these fuel companies in Uganda?
Yes, on the other side, no. Because when you look, these people will shift their capital to Kampala, and they will shift to buy from UNOC. And you see, as I told you, UNOC is not coming direct to the retail business. So it means that they will be competitive on international market fuel supply. What Kenya is giving, it will be same competitive to the supply. So it means that the same price they have been buying from these fuel companies in Kenya, it's the same price we're going to give them, even more or less. So, but is not going to come and do retail. So, but they will know.
Will they do wholesale?
They will not do. They will only supply bulk to the oil marketing company. So the oil marketing company still will do the bulk to
the other country.
To the country.
Yes.
No, I think we need to understand this clearly. UNOC is going to supply the oil marketing companies, which will also qualify because there is a criteria. To be here, to have an import license currently, you must have the capacity. There are procedures you pass. To have an import license with URA, you must have tax exemption. And for you to get a tax exemption, you must pay over 100 million, and you have requirements. You get. Okay. You must have hospitality, where you bring the product and you put them. So it is still the same as for you to buy fuel from you must also have a storage facility or hospitality agreement with the person with a storage facility. Okay. So UNOC will only supply those who have an import license, those who have storage. Then these people, like for example, a case of companies that are growing like Total, Shell, Starbucks, they have their own storages, which now people, traders like me who have like a small station in Pidgey, will come and buy from Total or Starbucks. It's what exactly is happening. So they are not cutting any cartel down here. It's still remaining the same.
It's still remaining the same, but it's just that the market is just here. So are there any specific challenges that are going to be faced by the fuel companies by this policy?
Maybe the big challenge is to the government and because it's a new thing. So, you cannot wake up and do something and you think it is easy. I think they are going to also have challenges on managing the supply, having steady supply from wherever they are going to get the products, but also tussling it up with this oil marketing company that have good, big experience. Because you see in Kenya, these people have been so much serious. They not only supply Uganda, they go to Congo, they supply Rwanda. So they have a wide experience in petroleum supply. So I think as a young child, like in this business, they are going to face a lot of challenges on how to manage these guys. But at the end of the day, by the time the government comes in to set something, they have made a good research and also empowered and done capacity building to the people who have been there. I have personally seen, getting smart guys from these petroleum companies to work within, So it's a challenge they are going to face, but I think they are going to encounter it by getting smart people who have been doing the same business. And the government will have to train them more on how to manage, but also the challenge of taxation.
Yes. Because
some of the truck have been cleared at the border. So it will, but it will also ease, because URA will now deal with UNOC, and will also deal with, it will be easy to trace who has bought what. You pay the taxes, you get your product.
There's no using a shortcut.
So I think the challenge is with UNOC, but with also the oil marketing company, as you said. I think their biggest challenge will be what they have been doing currently because this, you know, when there is a transformation from one thinking to another thinking, you face a lot of challenges in terms of how, again, now you control the supplies. Because let me tell you, do you know that here in Uganda, there are people who just have offices and they just send fuel from Kenya and they sell through trucks?
Yes.
There are very many. Most of these Somalis. I am, even most of these bulk suppliers. So they are going to face a challenge because they have been getting deals of fuel in Kenya. So they are going to face a challenge of finding a way how they remain in business.
In business when they are getting from the government.
When they are getting products from UNOC. Because now they are going to close. No one is supposed now to come and buy fuel from Kenya. So it means that if you've been a bulk dealer with your trucks from Kenya to Uganda, it means that that business is cut. But they can still bring that cash and take it to UNOC and still buy the product if they qualify. So I think the challenge is there to them. To the population, the government is a good deal. There is no big challenge. To us, who are the consumers, we're not seeing the challenge there.
So now you as the fuel company owners, aren't you worried at all about the disruption in supplies, late supply or delay most of the time?
Yeah, the key issue is since now we are all discussing on how this kid should deliver. This raped kid. So we became so much worried. Who raped the kid? Will the kid not die? How? But now the kid is in hospital, and so we are all worried on how they are going to deliver this. It is a big challenge to all the fuel petroleum owners.
Because all petrol stations
yes, the transition is. And let me tell you, URA now wants to control. In TZ, URA goes up to the petrol. I was in China last week. I just came back. I met one of the suppliers of a system that TZ uses to the URA of Tanzania. And the guy told me a story which I got from China. They are big guys in the petroleum industry in terms of pumps and the systems. And they told me in TZ, URA or the TZ revenue system, every petrol station, when they sell fuel, immediately the revenue system of TZ understand. So there is no pump that is installed without that system.
So this is the system you want to bring in?
In the long run, URA has to, because now there is no way, if you have a petrol station, how will you pay taxes?
So you want to put taxes on the fuel also? It
is exactly what the government is going to do in the long run.
That means the fuel prices are going to go high again?
No, they will give, since now we get, controls is everywhere in the whole world. You get? The government wants to make sure that people are not cheated by buying
from outside.
But they also make sure that at least people get cheaper fuel on stations. And URA also, there are also these dealers. People doesn't know that there are dealers who are getting so much rich without being taxed. So they come, buy bulk fuel, take it to their stations, period. No followed. So the government is saying, look here, if you are dealing in fuel and you are not taxed, then you are not helping the government. So any retail station in TZ, in Uganda it has not worked, but they are studying it, has a pump with a system that if you sell the fuel, that liter, the receipt will come out with the VAT or with the taxes. And that immediately URA will receive a notification that, so at the end of the month they will come and say you sold these liters
We are demanding
and we are
this.
demanding you this. It will be automatic.
So there is no
It's
cheating.
how the world is running. People just have to understand that the world is a bit dynamic. For us who have moved and you move to these big countries, every system is taxed. And that's how countries grow. So we need to understand that dynamics.
Wow, this is very, very interesting. Well, we are going to take a very short break, and of course we are going to be right back. Do not change the channel.
Smart